like toast. You guys have a good flight? Ready? For joining us today at America's Spaceport. You know, we really have some pretty exciting days here at the Kennedy Space Center, but today is even more exciting than normal because we know when we see this aircraft here, we know we're getting really close to launch day.
Hey, hello. Thanks for being here, for the opportunity to say a few remarks. I mean, this is getting real. It's 5 days to launch. We're going to space very soon, and it's very emotional for me that this final stretch to the launch pad has started with the landing here on this runway. For those guys, it's kind of normal. They do it all the time. But for me, it was like, as we were coming in, I'm like, I'm landing on the Space Shuttle landing facility, which for a girl like me who grew up in the 80s, I was a child in the 80s watching, you know, Space Shuttle, the initial Space Shuttle flights, those men and women going to space on a regular basis. That's what got me excited about space. So that was very special for me. I'd like to join my fantastic crewmates in expressing my deep sentiment of gratitude for all the NASA and SpaceX teams that have brought us to this point. But really, especially, I would also like to express my thanks to ESA, to my colleagues, to the teams at the European Space Agency for the opportunity of flying on this mission. And a big word of thank you also to my country, Italy. I'm an ESA astronaut of Italian nationality, and if I have this opportunity of flying to space in a few days, it's also thanks to the long-standing commitment of Italy to ESA and to the partnership with NASA. As it was mentioned today, not only through the missions to the ISS, but in the not-so-distant future, also with missions beyond low Earth orbit, we got this opportunity of watching SLS on the launch pad with Orion and the European service module standing on top of it. Really, really exciting to get to ISS and get down to work with this fantastic crew and the 3 cosmonauts who will be part of our expedition, who are our dear colleagues and friends who are waiting for us up there already. Thank you so much. Fans community might remember that on my first space flight I had a replica of a uniform from a TV show called Star Trek Voyager. So I will just say that I may or may not have a replica of a costume from another science fiction show.
We didn't know about this.
That depend on gravity, I would count a shower among those. So just like I did last time, I plan to take a very long, luxurious shower on that last day before launch.
Specifically for Samantha, I'm curious: are there any scientific experiments that are carrying over from the previous 2 European expeditions that have been ongoing for the last year that you'll be taking over? And then for you and for Jessica, what are the experiments you're looking forward to performing the most while you're up there? Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the question. Definitely, I would say probably the bulk of the scientific program will be a continuation of what is being going on. As I'm sure you're aware, science, especially when we talk about science that is like human physiology, so you're actually studying the human subject, you need a number of years to conclude those experiments because you need a certain number of subjects. So, for example, I am continuing an experiment that's called Nutris, which is about how certain ways of monitoring and maybe also intervening in the nutrition of astronauts on board can help in maintaining a healthy body mass and body fat versus muscle. I'm also continuing an experiment which is called acoustic diagnostics, which is more about the influence on the hearing function, but that is also acquiring more and more a component that looks at the intracranial pressure, which is something that we have been looking at with a number of experiments over the years. So yeah, and of course many, many more. I don't think we have time to go into much more detail, so I will leave the floor to Wadi.
I just want to say thank you all again for coming out today to help us to welcome the crew here at the Kennedy Space Center. You heard how excited they are for launch. I can tell you how excited we are here at the historic Kennedy Space Center to be able to launch them. So we're praying for good weather. Go crew, go freedom. Thank you.